here right now. So 5 students will take the makeup exam. It's gonna be Thursday 9 a.m. The rest of you, you don't have to come to the class. It's free for you. Okay, you can study at home. But don't forget, if you have lab on Thursday, you have lab exam on Thursday 2 p.m. Okay, the one that have lab on Wednesday, you are free the whole day. Okay, Josie, Kylie, so you free on Thursday. Yeah, nothing to do except study, of course. Hey, do you have question before we start? Okay, now for the lab exam first. It is very important. For the lab exam, you know the organ's name, which is okay, lab exam 2. This is actually final lab exam. It will be over lab 6, right? Start from lab 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. This is going to be all the lab activities that will be in the lab exam. What is lab 6? This is axial skeleton. Still remember what is axial skeleton? The skeleton or the bone that's located in your axis. How many bones? Too much. 80. 80, okay? And then the second one is appendicular. Appendicular skeleton. How many? 126. Wonderful. Okay? And then what is next? Joint. Joint and movement. Okay? That's lab number 8. Lab number 9 is muscle. Okay? So muscle name, muscular system. Muscles. This is muscular system. This is only skeletal muscle. Okay? And then number 10, brain and cranial nerve. Brain and cranial nerve. And number 11, this is all the special senses, right? Special senses. How many special senses? 5. If you know this, you're okay. What is the first one? We learn vision on the first day, and then we also learn hearing, balance. And the second day, when the light is off, for the Thursday lab, you learn smell and taste. Okay, these all the lab that will be in the lab exam. Now I'm gonna give you some example. For this 1, 2, 3, 4. For skeleton, joint movement, and muscle, there will be groups in one question. It's kind of one group of questions. So one group of questions for this is consists of 5 questions. So let's say I will give you, let's say question number 1, number 2, number 4, number 5. Number 5, it will be in one group, for example, okay, for this 4 lab. Okay, how the question is gonna be? Okay, number 1 and 2 will be asking you the name of the bone. Number 1 or 2 will asking you the name of the bone. Number 3, not 3 will ask you the name or the type of joint. So type of joint, bone, okay, type of joint. Number 4 will ask you type of movement. Type of movement. And number 5 will asking you the name of muscle that perform this movement. Muscle name. So one group will consist of 5 questions, right? For this 6, 7, 8, and 9. It may be several group. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is another group. And then what is after 10? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, this is another group. You got this one? So this is for this first. I'll give you just one example. If I give you all the example, you're gonna know because we don't have enough join in our body. Example. Let's say, what do you call this? What is the name of bone over here? I will have the bone itself in the lab. So I will show you what is the name of this bone on the skeleton during the lab exam. So what is the name of this bone over here? Humerus. You make sure you know the name. There is no choice of it. I mean, you have to write. It means that you have to memorize the name. Okay? I will not give you the the keyword or whatever. You have to know by yourself. What is the name of this bone? Humerus. Let's say that's question number 1. Get? Question number 2. Over here, again, I will show you the bone in the lab. There are 2 bones, right? One big, one small. What is the name of the bigger bone? Radius. You get it? So that's number 2, radius. Get it? Number 3. What do you call the name of joint that is made by this humerus? And I will not say that's humerus again during the exam. With this bone and the radius over here on the elbow. You cannot say elbow joint. You have to say in scientific name. What is that? What type of joint? Hinge. Yeah, the hinge joint. That's number 3. Hinge joint. Okay. Then I will dance. I will make a movement. Okay. Because the skeleton will not be able to move. So I will make a movement which is this is hinge joint, right? Then I will do like this. Like start from here. Boom. What can this? Here you go. That's flexion. Are you with me? That's gonna be number 4. Get it? And then the last one is the name of muscle. When that muscle here contract, it actually gives you this flexion. Now, what is the name of muscle over here? Bicep. That's number 5. You with me? And then the next one, maybe I'm asking you this joint. There are several joints, right? We have joint over here. We have joint over here. Make sure you know the name of joint over here. We have joint over here. We have joint over here. Okay? So that's maybe the question's going to be. And again, for the 6, 7, 8, 9 will be in a group of 5 questions. Are you with me? Get it? Now, how about lab number 10, brain and cranial nerve. Okay? For the brain and cranial nerve, you just have to know the part of the brain, which is, let's say, if I give you the picture like this, okay. Okay, let's say this is front, this is back. Okay. Now, what do you call the big brain over here? What is the name of the big brain? Remember, brain divided into 4 parts, right? What do you call the first part over there? Cerebrum. Get it? Cerebrum. And cerebrum divided into 4 lobes. Right? What do you call the front lobes? The top one. The back one. The side one. Wonderful. You know this, eh? Get it? Now, what is the function of frontal lobe? Action. What is the occipital lobe? Vision. Sensory vision. What is the temporal lobe? Taste, smell, hearing. Get it? How about the top one over here? Touch, that are coming mostly from the skin. That will be processed in the temporal lobe. Okay, you got this one? Hey. And then this cerebrum usually have hill and valley. Hill, valley. What do you call the hill? Gyrus. What is it called the valley? Sulcus. What do you call the valley here in the center? What is the valley name? What is the valley called? Sulcus, right? Over here, it's going to be called central sulcus, the one that separates frontal and back. lobe. You and me? Okay, now, what do you call this? No, this is below the big brain. This is cerebrum, this is cerebellum. What is the function of cerebellum? Skill, movement, and balance. Control your balance too. And then in middle here, we have another group. It's called, start with D, diencephalon. That consists of epithalamus, thalamus, and hypothalamus, right? What you call this? The whole. The last part is called the brain stem. That consists of midbrain, pons, medulla oblongata. What is the function of medulla oblongata? This is control your autonomic nervous system. Your breathing, your cardiovascular, all will be controlled by medulla oblongata. So, if you know this, you will be happy. If not, you will be sad. Believe me. I just try to make you happy here. So, I'll show you. This is what you have to learn. For the brain. Now, the next part is cranial nerve. So, when we review this is actually also reviewing for your final exam too, because it's going to be the same, the same materials. Right? Now, cranial nerve. How many pairs of cranial nerve? 12, right? So the name, cranial nerve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we don't have enough place. This one is good. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's cranial nerve. Now you have to know the name, and also I'm gonna erase this. At least some function. Okay, so we're gonna give you that information now. All right. So cranial nerve number 1, it start with O. O. Number 2 also start with O. Okay. Number 3 also start with O. So you have 3 O over there. O, 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 right? And number 4 start with the T. So I'm gonna give you the way to memorize it, okay? So O, 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 let's say T. You can say, let's say O, 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 2, okay? And then there's another T over here, right? To touch, and then start with A. And number 7 start with F, feel. Number 8 start with the V. It's gonna be very. Number 9 what start with the G. Very green. Number 10 also start with the V. So we can say vegetable, right? Number 11 start with A. You don't have to say anything. And number 12 start with H. So 8. So this is the way I remember the name. O, 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 to touch and feel. Very green vegetable. Okay, you have to say, you can feel it, okay? When you touch the very green vegetable, you say, You got this one first, okay? So this is just the first letter on the name of that cranial nerve. Get it? At least you know the first letter first, okay? When you're guessing, then you know which one is number 5, for example. Okay. So the first O, this is for smell. It's called olfactory nerve. You get this one? Olfactory nerve. Second, sensing vision. What is vision? Optic. Optic nerve. Another O, this one is actually for the muscle that move the eyeball. It's called the oculomotor nerve. Okay, now I'm gonna erase this one. Already know this is gonna be T. Okay, so this one is gonna be trochlear. Okay. Number 5 gonna be 3 or trigeminal nerve. Okay. Number 6 start with A. I'm gonna erase this. Abducens nerve. Okay. Number 7 start with F. This is face. Okay, it's facial nerve. Okay. Number 8. This is from the ear. There are 2 types, balance and hearing. So it's actually combination. Vestibulo, this is for balance. And hearing is cochlear nerve. Vestibulocochlear nerve. And number 9, start with the G. This is going to be tongue and pharynx. Okay, it's called the glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay? And this one is the best. If you get number 10, right? It's going to be the best. What score do you get? 10. Why it is best? Because my name on it. What is my first name? Agus, right? Put my name over there, right? So just put my name. A-G-U-S. Fagus. Okay? So you know number 10 is me. Which is the best. We're going to see why it's the best. That's easy, right? Easy to remember. If you remember my name. Okay. And then A, this is another my name over here. We start with A, but it is not my name. This is accessory. Accessory nerve. So this is vagus nerve, accessory nerve. And then the last one is under the tongue. What is under? Hypo. Hypoglossal. Hypoglossal nerve. Okay, you get this one first. Now, for the nerve, they can carry both sensory or motor, right? You have 2 types of neuron, sensory and motor neurons, right? The one that sensory, what does sensory nerve mean? It is coming from the receptor to your brain. It's going to be sensation, right? How about the second one? Motor nerve. This is coming from your brain to the effector. That's motor nerve. Okay? Most of these cranial nerve, they are mixed nerve. So mixed nerve. What does that mean? Consists both sensory and motor. Only 3 of them, that is very special because only consists sensory nerve. Only carry sensation. No action. Which one is that? I'm gonna number 1, number 2, and number 8. So all these 3 is called the pure sensory nerve. They only carry sensation, no carry orders. You follow this? Okay, so just remember these 3 first. Now, we're gonna see each function, just very simple. I mean, just summarize of the function. Olfactory, the name is telling you. What does olfaction mean? Smell. Okay. Where is it coming from? Where is the receptor of smell located? That's part of your lab also. No, the smell receptor located. Here, in the nasal epithelium, you have what we call the olfactory receptor. And then it will be carried by this cranial nerve number 1, go to the temporal lobe, which is that's the brain, right? That's the CNS. Okay, from receptor to the CNS, which is in this case temporal lobe. So from receptor in the nasal cavity to the, okay, so this one carry smell sensations from receptor in nasal cavity to the temporal lobe. Get it? Okay. Now about the optic. Where is the receptor of optic of vision located? Eye. So there is a special layer of the eyeball where the receptor located, which is from retina to what is the lobe processing the occipital. Okay? You follow this, right? That's sensory only. Oculomotor. The name is telling you this is actually majority of motor, which is action. So it's gonna be carry what? Carry orders from the brain. Which part of the brain that doing order? Yeah, which part? Which one the one that order your muscle to move? Frontal lobe. And mostly there's a special gyrus in the front. What you call that gyrus in the front? Precentral gyrus. So it's coming from the precentral gyrus. Okay. So from, let's say, in this case, just frontal lobe. It's special gyrus that perform this. To what? To the muscle of the eyeball. It's called the extrinsic muscle. Extrinsic muscles of eyeball. Okay? Got this one? The same thing with this one. The same. Remember there are 6 muscles on the that move eyeball, right? The top one that is straight is called the superior rectus muscle, right? The one in the bottom called the inferior rectus muscle. So if this is your eyeball, you have muscle on the top over here. It's called the superior rectus muscle. On the bottom, inferior rectus muscle, right? If this is nose, then the one over here is going to be medial rectus, right? It's going to be lateral rectus, right? And there is 2 more, inferior oblique and superior oblique, right? So 4 will be controlled by oculometer. 1 controlled by this. Okay? Another one controlled by number 6. So abduction also control one of the extrinsic muscle. So 6 of them, right? Controlled by 3 cranial nerve. Okay, this one? Now, number 5, trigeminal. It's actually divided into 3, and all of them will go to the face. Okay, it's gonna be mixed. Sensory nerve will carry sensation from your face. If somebody touch you on your face or you have pain in the face, will be carried by this trigeminal nerve. To where? Parietal lobe, right? And then this one also have the motor nerve. Right? This trigeminal give you the muscle that move your face, including for mastication, right? So this is coming from where? From the precentral gyrus and then go to the muscle on the face. Okay, now abduction already explain it. It is mostly good to the rectus muscle, right? To the extrinsic muscle. Facial. Facial, okay. If you see this, you still remember this, you do this experiment, right? What is this? Tongue, okay, tongue. Okay? So 2/3 of the tongue, and it is 1/3 of the tongue. Okay? On the 2/3 of the tongue, you have a lot of papillae. Papillae. What is papillae used for? This is where the taste buds located, right? So the taste bud for sweet usually here, and then salty here, sour here. So there are 3 taste buds that's located in the papillae in 2/3 of the tongue. All these papillae is called fungiform. Fungiform papillae, which is papillae that has taste bud for sweet, salty, and sour. You with me first? Okay. Then there will be sensory nerve that will carry information from here to your brain and telling your brain, oh, this is one sweet, this is one is sour, this one is salty. Which one that carry that? This over here. Cranial nerve number 7, facial. You guys want? So facial nerve carry 2/3 of the taste from your tongue, which is sweet, sour, and salty. All start with S. Are you with me? Now, over here, you have another papillae that is actually bigger. What you call that papillae? It's called the circumvallate papillae. And this is for bitter. Get it? So bitter located, the bitter taste buds located in the circumvallate papillae, which is 1/3 of the back of the tongue. And from here, there will be cranial nerve that carry that bitter sensation to your brain. And that cranial nerve is number 9. What is number 9? Here. So glossopharyngeal carry the other taste. You follow this? There is another papillae that's located here, but it's not for testing. This is for movement of the foot. That papillae is called the filiform. Filiform papillae. Papillae. You with me? So make sure you have this one also, because this is going to be in the exam, in the lab exam. Remember, you did the experiment with this tongue, and then make sure you know where is the papillae located. What is the name of the papillae, and what is the taste buds that's located in this papillae. Get it? So how many type of papillae? 3. Fungiform, circumvallate, filiform. Fungiform has sweet, salty, and sour taste bud. Circumvallate has bitter taste bud. Filiform for movement of the food. Okay, so this one already done. 1/3 of the tongue. Number here, 2/3 of the tongue. This is for the sensory nerve, but this also carry orders. Carry order to muscle of your tongue to move. So like glossopharyngeal over here is the one that causing your tongue to talk, to move, to, move the food inside your mouth. Facial nerve over here also give you the expression, facial expression. Whether you smile, you crying, it will be ordered by the facial nerve. Okay, so this is mixed nerve. Vestibulocochlear. This is coming from the ear, which is vestibulo for balance, cochlear, look like snail, is for hearing. And both of them are sensory. So this is pure sensation of balance and hearing, which is cranial nerve number 8. Okay. Now, number 10. I mentioned this is the best. Why? My name. It's not that, actually. This is kind of good, the best, because what? All the other cranial nerve, they're only playing around your face, around your head, right? But this one is actually going down to your thoracic cavity and to the abdominopelvic cavity. So this one, the sensory motor, this sensory will sense information from the visceral organs in your thoracic cavity and abdominopelvic cavity. For example, this one might sense your blood pressure, sensation of your blood pressure, sensation of your heart beating, whether slow or fast. The motor, of course, will order that organ to perform things. Like, for example, if your heart beating really slow, then the vagus nerve will tell your heart muscle, boom, to contract more. You get this one? Or to tell your blood vessel, the muscle, which is the smooth muscle on your blood vessel, to press more the blood. You get this one? So that vagus nerve, this is the only cranial nerve that going out from your brain down to the abdominopelvic cavity and thoracic cavity. Therefore, get number 10. And therefore, get my name on it. Okay? And then accessory. Accessory, this is for mostly for the neck. So sensation will sensing information from your neck, skin on the neck, and the motor will tell your one a very big muscle on your neck. Still remember the name. That's very important because it might be part of this question over here. What is the name of muscle that move your head? Sternocleidomastoid muscle. Write it down and then say it over and over at home, in case it is in the mastoid muscle. Okay, so is controlled by this accessory. Hypoglossal. What is glossal? Tongue. And this is also the one that will move your tongue, especially under here. When you're swallowing, that's also controlled by this hypoglossal nerve, which is number 12. Okay, that should be kind of review for lab and also for final exam. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same thing. You get it? You have question for this? We're done. Last one. For special sense, very important, make sure you study the structure of the eyeball. Eyeballs, right? The eyeball has 3 layers. What is the first layer? The first layer is called the fibrous tunic. I think the green one is the better one. Okay, so this is the eyeball. It has 3 layers. 3 layers. The first layer is called the fibrous tunic. Now you have to know this. This is one of the fibrous tunics, the outer one, which is white in color. What do you call that? No, that's for brain. Sclera, right? Sclera. This is sclera. You with me? Okay. And in the front, over here, the sclera become clear. It's called cornea. Okay. So cornea. That's it. That's 2 part of the fibrous tunic. The second layer is called the vascular tunic. right? Which start under this. You're gonna have black color layer. Remember when you dissect the eyeball? They're all black, right? So what you call this black layer over here? Choroid. Okay, choroid. Right? And then in the front, choroid become iris. Right? Iris. And iris control the hole. What do you call the hole of the eyes? Pupil. Right? Are you with me? Behind the pupil, you have the crystal over here. And you play with that one. It's very hard. Which is the lens. That's the lens. Okay, like a marble. Lens. Got it? And the lens controlled by muscle. It's called the accessory muscle. Okay? It's actually the accessory body. Accessory body consists of accessory muscle and accessory process. Accessory muscle control the lens. Accessory process produce the liquid for the front of the eyes. You get it one? That's it. That's it for the second layer. Now the last layer, only one. It's going to be on the back over here. Okay. And that layer is yellowish, kind of whitish when you dissect it. And this is the place where the photoreceptor located. What do you call that layer? Nervous layer or the retina. With it? In the retina, you have part that do not have photoreceptor. What you call that? Blind spot or the optic disc. There is no photoreceptor over there. It's therefore called the blind spot. Right? And over here, and the straight line with the light that enter into your eyes, there is an area called the fovea centralis. Fovea centralis. The object has to go here. Otherwise, you have a blurry vision. You need eyeglasses, even as here. Right? So it's called the fovea centralis. How many photoreceptors that we have? Photoreceptor. How many in the retina? 1 and 2. 2, right? Rod. And what's the other one? Cone. How many type of cone? Come on. Blue, red, and green. Black and white is here. Black and white here. Cone is color. So therefore you have 3 color. Blue, red, and green. Okay? If you have color blind, mostly red and green. Color blind. Okay? You get this one. Okay? So that's for the special sense. Then also make sure already drawing the tongue. Make sure you study again that tongue. Okay? And make sure you also study how you perform the experiment. There might be question asking you to describe how you perform experiment. It should be easy. If you are present during the lab activity and doing it, it's no problem to write it down, right? Because you know how to do it. You still should remember that activity. Okay? Do you have question? There will be 52 questions for the lab exam. 52 questions. And again, mostly asking you to write the answer, which is kind of filling the blank. I mean, you have to really write it, you know. You have to memorize some of them, the name.
How many questions are going to be filled?
Most of them. Most of them. Okay. Do you have question for this lab? Okay, if not, then let's review for the final exam. Final exam. Okay, final exam start from chapter 1 until chapter 15, all of them. There are 102 questions. 102 questions. You have more time. I think we have a 2 hours block for the final exam. So 102 questions. Consists of chapter 1 until 15. But the last module, the last assignment 5, will consist of 50 questions. You understand? 50% is coming from the last module, and the rest will be coming from the, let's say, assignment 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? That's another 50 questions. Do you have question for this? Now, for chapter 1, make sure you study again your assignment 1, including your exam. Study your exam again. I written your exam, right? You should have your exam with you. So study it again. The same thing with the assignment 2. Study your assignment and the exam 2. Assignment 3, exam 3. Assignment 4, exam 4. Study again. Okay? I will also make a video exercise. I will make it available on maybe Thursday night after everybody finish with the lab exam. I will put that video final exam exercise. Over there is going to be question, and then you have to answer. It's kind of study guide, but you can have a Quizlet or something like that. But on that video, you have a question, you have answer, and if I will also give an explanation why it is the correct answer, why it is not correct answer, for example. So therefore, you will study also. If you watch that video, you will get 10 points extra. See, even I give you 10 points extra watching the video, plus subscribe my channel. Okay, so what do you call it? Like, subscribe, and comment. Comment, because I don't know who watched my video if you don't give comment. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe, 10 points for that. Okay, so I'm gonna try to put that on Thursday night. So you have 1 week to study or to watch that video, study that video. Okay, is a deal? Okay, if you don't like it, it's okay. I still put it. Okay, so for the final exam, chapter 1 mostly about anatomy and physiology. Make sure you know what is anatomy, what is physiology. Structure and function, what? And then make sure you know if it is structure, then it's going to be, someone that learn about structure is going to be anatomist. The one that study physiology is called a physiologist. Get it? Right? Like for example, SpongeBob study how the brain control your muscle. Anatomy or physiology? Physiology. This how mean function, right? SpongeBob study the layer of the skin. What is that? Anatomy. Got it? Homeostasis, really important. Feedback system. 3 component of feedback system. What is that? Receptor, control center, effector. That's the 3 component of feedback system. Okay, make sure you get what. Next, tissue. Let's say atom. You know what is atom? Is the smallest unit of matter, and etc. What? Tissue. Make sure you know how many tissue. 4. What is the first one? Epithelial, connective, nervous, muscle. Yes, muscle tissue. But start with the epithelial, right? Epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous tissue, right? The epithelial tissue is consists of cell. Remember, tissue consists of cell that make a layer. They usually connect one another. Connective tissue. What is the character of connective tissue? Cell and matrix. Cell and matrix. What is matrix consists of? Ground substance and fibers. What the type of ground substance? Maybe liquid, solid, or gel. What is the type of fiber? Reticular, elastic, What is the biggest one? Collagen fiber, right? Okay, so make sure you know that also, right? Hey, that's the reason why I say study your assignment and study your exam for previous one. Okay, and then of course the skeletal system. Make sure at least you know the number. How many bone in skeletal system? Total 206, right? And now the name of the skeleton of the bones. Okay, study that. It's not that difficult actually, right? Muscle, right? Muscle also the same. Study the name of muscle and their location. What else? And then for this brain, the nervous system and nervous tissue. So make sure that you know the different type of neurons. Different type of neurons. Neurons can be divided into, let's say, into the shape. There are 3 types, right? Based on the structure, based on the shape. If it has many dendrites in the cell body, so like this, let's say, like this, what do you call this neuron? It has many dendrites, cell body, and then one axon over here. Multipolar. This is multipolar. Multipolar. If it is like this is bipolar. Bipolar. Right? If it is like this, that's unipolar. Okay? Based on the shape. Now, based on the function. If it is sensing, carry information from receptor to the CNS, carry sensation is called sensory neuron, right? Based on function. If it is process, what you call it? Wonderful. If it is carry order to the effector, motor. Okay, that's based on function. Based on the speed. Based on the speed. Type A, B, C. Which one is fastest? Which one has a biggest myelin sheath? A. Which one don't have sheath? I mean myelin sheath. C. Okay. Slowest. Okay. That's type of neuron. Make sure you know the 6 neuroglia and their function. Astrocyte, microglia, oligodendrocyte, ependymal cell, Schwann cell, satellite cell. There are 6 of them. You get it? Okay, what else? Part of neuron, dendrite, cell body, axon. Function, dendrite for sensing the stimulus, process, carry order. Got it? Okay. What else? Okay, type of channel. Type of channel. Right? If it is open, keep open, what you call that type of channel? Open channel. Leakage, right? Leakage channel. If it is open and closed, it has gate, therefore it's called a gated channel. And gated channel have 3 types, right? If it is open because of voltage, it's called voltage channel. If it is open because chemical, it's called no. Voltage ligand. Ligand for chemical. If it is open because of mechanical, touching, pressure, that's mechanical. Only this that is a little bit different. Okay? But make sure if I put it in the question, you know which one is this. Like for example, I give you question. Let's say this is motor neuron. Yeah, carry order into muscle. You have muscle over here. Right? And then in the motor neuron, you have at the end terminal, you have vesicle that carry neurotransmitter. Okay? And the neurotransmitter that go to the muscle is called the acetylcholine, right? ACH. Hey, you guys want? Now, when the voltage coming here, which is sodium ion here, it will open the calcium gated channel. The calcium gated channel open because of voltage. Now, what do you call this calcium gated channel in the axon terminal? It's gonna be voltage gated channel, right? And then what happened? Calcium will enter, will push this acetylcholine to out. And acetylcholine will bind to this channel over here, which is sodium gated channel. Bind it, but the gate will be open because of acetylcholine. Now, what you call this sodium gated channel? Ligand. Because what? Because neurotransmitter is a chemical, is a ligand. So make sure you got this one. So that's connection. The question may be like that. It's not just asking which one is gated channel, which one is voltage, but follow the question and look for the keyword. Open because voltage, that's going to be voltage channel, right? Open because of chemicals. So anything, actually most of things is chemical. It's going to be ligand. And then it's open because of pressure, mechanical gated channel. Get it? Okay, already give you the warning over there to study that. Okay. Some neurotransmitter, example is acetylcholine over here, will make the muscle to be excited. Therefore, acetylcholine over here is called the APSP for muscle cell, excitatory postsynaptic potential. It will make the muscle to be excited, which is contracted. Hey, that's anatomy of nervous system. Brain, already telling you the part of the brain, 4 parts of the brain, and each part will have part again, right? Cerebrum has 4 lobes, for example. Diencephalon have 3 parts. Cerebellum only 1, right? And then the brainstem have 3, right? So make sure you study that. Okay? And the brain and spinal cord, it is protected by layer. What do you call the layer that protect the brain and spinal cord? It's called the meninges. And meninges has 3 layers, right? What is the outside layer? Dura mater. What is the middle layer? Arachnoid layer. What is the last layer? Pia mater. And between pia mater and arachnoid layer, there is a fluid. What do you call the fluid? CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, so you got this one. And of course, the 12 cranial nerve. 12 cranial nerve. Already explained that. Okay. How many spinal nerve? 31 pair. All the spinal nerve, they are mixed nerve. They are mixed nerve. Carry sensory and motor neurons. Okay. They also study some disorder like meningitis. Because of this inflammation of meninges, it's called meningitis, hydrocephalus, Parkinson's, aphasia, right? Study that. And again, on your assignment, I already make correction. Okay, so you should be able to study that assignment correctly. Okay. Okay. What time is? Okay, one more. I'm gonna explain. The last one is the difference between somatic and autonomic. There are also some questions coming from the last part of our lecture. Okay. So SNS, and ANS. Right. What is SNS? Somatic nervous system. What is the function of somatic nervous system? Sense conscious. Sensation. Okay. Process in cerebrum. It's called the cerebral cortex. Okay, all the process happening here. And then what? Order voluntary actions. Okay. To what? What is the only voluntary effector? Muscle cell. Okay, that's the SNS function. How about ANS? Sense unconscious. Unconscious sensation. So receptor will be in the visceral organ, inside organ. Control, process in mostly the brainstem, plus hypothalamus. Okay, hypothalamus mostly for endocrine system. Okay, and then order involuntary action. It's going to be to the 4 involuntary effector, which is smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, exocrine gland, and endocrine gland, right? That's going to be ordered by ANS. You got this one first. Now, look at this. Let's say this is brain, spinal cord. This is receptor. Receptor. This is effector. Okay. So receptor for the SNS under the skin. It's called the general somatic receptor. Therefore, you can sense it consciously. Second, 5 special sense. 5 special sense, they are under somatic. Therefore, you can know, you can see, you can smell. Right? Now, then there will be sensory neuron. This is receptor 1, sensory neuron. And then carry it to thalamus, remember, right? Thalamus sorting the sensation information and go to the cortex and process that information. Okay? And if it is order, let's say coming from this side, which is also cortex, mostly pre-central gyrus, going down, over here, and then go to the effector. You see that one? And this is motor neuron. What is the effector? Muscle cell. Got it? What is the neurotransmitter release over here? Acetylcholine. Guess what? How many motor neuron? Only one. From CNS to the muscle. You got this one? It's going to be voluntary action. Now look at this. I said this is brain. ANS. Receptor. Receptor is called the interoceptor, which is located in the visceral organ, like your kidney, your heart, your lungs, all the internal organ. The receptor is called the interoceptor. That is this what? And then the sensory neuron. Get it? Where the process go? Whoop, over here. Just it. Which is what? Brainstem plus hypothalamus. It will not go up to the cerebrum. Get it? Just there. And then the order also coming from here. Boom. And then going around here. Now, this is the different over here. Remember this one. Only have one motor neuron for the somatic. Autonomic, it has 2 motor neuron. This first motor neuron over here. Get it? And then there is second motor neuron over here. And then effector. Okay? You got this one? Between the first motor neuron, second motor neuron, there is area is called the ganglion. So ganglion is place connection between first motor neuron and second motor neuron. Therefore, the first motor neuron is called the before, pre-ganglion neuron. You get me? The second one is going to be called what? Post. Ganglionic neuron. Are you with me? Get it? Now, for the ANS, there are 2 types. Okay, parasympathetic diffusion and sympathetic diffusion. Got it? Okay. The parasympathetic diffusion, let's say from here, boom. Okay, look at this. This is, let's say the receptor is actually the same because the receptor can, okay, innervate by the para and the sympathetic. Let's say this is the heart. Right? The organ is the heart. Right? Now, look at this. The para. This is the first neuron, which is preganglion neuron, is very long. So this is one is long. Right? And then the post, this is ganglion over here. This postganglion neuron is very short. It's really close to the effector. Okay? So long and short. Long, short. So I put that one sign. Look at this, the other one, sympathetic. The first one is short. The second one is long. Got it? This is short, long. For the motor neuron. Pre and post. You get this one first. Now look what the neurotransmitter release. The parasympathetic diffusion, the first one release acetylcholine. Acetylcholine. Get it one? The second neuron release acetylcholine too. Okay, so this one release both acetylcholine. First and second. Look at the short. I mean the sympathetic. Release this one acetylcholine over here. But over here is the norepinephrine or adrenaline. So sometimes it's called adrenaline. Okay? So this one acetylcholine and adrenaline. Okay, two type of neurotransmitters released by sympathetic. You get this one. Now action. Okay, action. Parasympathetic is, if it is the heart, it will make the heart relax. You're gonna be relaxed. Okay. The sympathetic, the adrenaline, because this adrenaline over here, this is acetylcholine, relax. Adrenaline causing the heart beating to be faster. Increase the heart beating. You get this one. Okay. Therefore, we can say the parasympathetic action, relax and digest. So when you relax, you digest. This is mostly you are under the parasympathetic action. It also increase what we call the SLAD. SLAD is abbreviation for salivation. Remember, when you digestion, you produce saliva, lacrimation, which is tear, urination, digestion, poop, defecation. So increase that. You feel good. You go to the you urinate, you defecate because of the para. So para is a normal, kind of normal. You are in a normal condition. Sympathetic, this is mostly you are under stress. Therefore, okay, is called, I will not use the, for F, right? And then, let's say for E. But it's very special over here, right? So, what is the first F? When you fight, you are under sympathetic. What happened with you? Well, you fight. Your heart beating increase, your eyes dilated. What is the second F? Like me, for example, when I see dog, I will fly. I will run. I'm stressed also, okay, during that time. Okay? And then what is the next F? When you see the movie, Halloween movie, frightened. You are under sympathetic. And the last F, I will not telling you because it is not good to say it. Okay, okay. You know about yourself. Okay, I will not say it. Okay. That's the last F. So Carson know it. He smiled. Okay. Now, and also for E. What is for E? When you are excited, then what happened? You are under sympathetic. Your heart beating increase. Also, when somebody is telling you, "Hi, I love you," what happened with your face? Red. What? You feel what? maybe embarrassed or excited at the same time. Whoa, somebody love me. Okay? And then what is the next E? When you exercise, you are under sympathetic. What else? Excitement, embarrassment, exercise. What is the other one? Emergency. During emergency, you are under sympathetic control. Okay? So what happened with your heart beating if you are under sympathetic? Faster. Your eyes dilated. Your blood rushing. Okay? Now, what it is not good? After eating, then you swim. Right after eating, you swim. What it is not good? Because what? When you are eating, you are under parasympathetic. You want to digest your food. But when you're swimming, you are under sympathetic. What happened with your stomach muscle? You want to stop, what? But you say, come on, digest your food. Stop. And then you get cramp. And you die. That's it. That's easy. That's the easy way to say. Don't do exercise right after eating because it might causing this crash between parasympathetic and sympathetic. You guys one? Which one mostly we are under in the autonomic nervous system? Which one we usually under control? The parasympathetic or sympathetic? Normally, we are in para. Okay? Unless you are angry bird. You're always angry all the time. You are under sympathetic all the time. Get it? Alright, I think we're done. Again, good luck. So tomorrow, for the one that have lab exam, 9 a.m.
I got 15 chapters worth of information on a single piece of paper.